Alright, this next song. When I was talking to Lee and Micha, planning everything for the wedding, I typically ask, what songs do you know you want me to play? And this was the only one that they said that they wanted me to play. This was it. Let's make this green. That works. Somebody once told me
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to the Torgo Entertainment YouTube channel. Torgo here. Welcome back to another gig vlog, and welcome back to another wedding.
You mean Tara has a crush on us? No, you... Oh.
Before I even begin to talk about today's wedding, there's a couple things I need to address. Number one, I had my wisdom teeth removed last weekend, which is why I actually turned down any gig that I could have possibly gotten for July 31st, that weekend. I know it's kind of weird to have somebody in their 30s get their wisdom teeth removed. Mine just happened to come in late. I was a little bit worried if I was gonna recover in time to be able to continue to do gigs, but that ended up not being a problem due to the other thing I wanted to talk about. I am not hosting trivia at this particular time. Gig vlog number 2 of 2021 talked about how to host team trivia, about my weekly trivia at Tags in Big Flats, but after the last time I was there, I've decided to quit because they had me on the roof as you saw in previous videos, but it keeps raining here and Tag would not let me go inside even if the forecast said it was going to be 100% chance of rain, which it did the last 3 times I was there, and it got to the point where my speakers actually both got water damage and were not working. So I said, screw that, I can't afford to keep damaging equipment for a paltry paycheck when I have other things I have to do. I got out of there. I ordered new speakers online, which proves to be a little bit frustrating because, as you might know, there's a silicone shortage right now, so getting new parts out is actually much more time consuming. So I paid for expedited shipping. They went to the Guitar Center in Johnson City, which is about an hour away from me. It's the closest one to Corning, but I got them. I just got 2 more of the same QSCK 10.2s because other than that water damage, I've had no problems with them. So at last, we can finally celebrate the wedding of Lee and Micha. I got this one in an interesting way. Originally, this was going to be subcontracted. They went through one of the companies I go through every once in a while. They talked to me. They really liked me, but they weren't so keen on the subcontracting company. So like 3 weeks later, they got a hold of me. This is well into last year. And they were like, we really like you. Can we just book you directly? And I was like, I mean, yeah, obviously you can do that. But I really tried to make sure that it wasn't like rubbed in the face of the subcontracting company. I think that's bad business. I mean, that was entirely their decision. I didn't steal any customers from anybody. So here we are. Today, we head to Rochester, New York, and we go to a new venue for me, Artisan Works. So let's go to the map and show you exactly where that is. It's about an hour and a half away, right in the heart of downtown Rochester. No barns this week. I actually got a chance to check it out over Memorial Day weekend, so let's go and look at that footage. This is quite the funky venue inside. This is the Bourbon Street Room, and they definitely have a New Orleans kind of vibe in here. While it looks neat, I'm not too thrilled with the black tablecloths. I think that was an interesting choice. And when it comes to matching the decor of the room, their colors are mustard yellow, rust colored, and teal. So I always try to match my clothing with the colors of the wedding. That way it looks like I belong. But because of everything being so funky and out there, I'm just gonna be wearing a classic white shirt for this one. I think that's the best choice. But for the lighting, I decided to go with the mustard yellow like I have behind me. It's a custom color. I'll put the RGB code right here. But I did make presets for the rust and the teal as well. We are just handling reception today. It is 4.5 hours of reception, 6:30 to 11. It's a large wedding, 200 people. I don't know if that's a large wedding where you are, but I don't usually hit 200 up here. As for an assistant, last minute, my old roommate Jeremiah is coming with me on this one. He lives in Rochester, so it was really convenient. He's done 2 gigs with me, both in 2018 before I started filming anything. One was the Hammondsport prom at Logan Ridge Estates, and the other was a wedding at a venue that doesn't exist anymore. That was a whole ordeal. The groom actually knocked the cake over at that wedding. But he said, I didn't mind doing weddings with you, so if you ever are up here, feel free to let me know. And I was like, funny you should mention that, because I'm gonna be there next weekend. So that works out. He lives like 10 minutes away from the venue. But I hope you're ready for this one. It should be an interesting time. Let's go. This teal building is not the actual building. Here is the building for the Bourbon Street Hall, which is actually located on this crazy map right here. That star is where we are located. But the load-in is nice and easy. We're able to drive up right here, and we just pass through a whole bunch of doors with some admittedly tight corners, and I don't think the map does it justice, so I'm going to show you. So here's that door that we just saw. Look at these tight little corners. It doesn't look like it's that bad, but when you have the facade and the rock and roller cart, it's quite a bit. That goes there, and there's this little corridor right here. The bar is off to the side, and here we have the main hall, all lit up, ready to go. And this is after I had set everything up. As you can see, they still have the black tablecloths and the black chairs. A little at odds with everything. 25 tables for dinner, so that's a whole lot. Poor table 8 is directly in front of my setup, so they're gonna get blinded a little bit. And here's the setup. You may notice that the facade is looking a little dim right now. I'll show you why in just a second. We start off with my EV 18-inch ELX 200 subwoofer. And here we have the Dragon front boards facade, the Ritmo pattern. Behind it, we do have the UB12 hex bars. The DMX cable wasn't working, so I had to send Jeremiah to get a new one. He came back, it lit up, we were good to go. The ADJ CLS 200 light-up speaker stands. I have them on red just to match the room a little bit more from the mustard yellow. We have the Element hex bars on the bottom. We have my truss, the Focus Spot 3Zs on top. You've seen the inside of the trussing before. We have those big old base plates. There's the wheel of the rock and roller cart. There is my suit case holding my dress clothes. The Manfrotto tripod. See these doors in the back? We're able to store some stuff back there, which is kind of neat. So we can actually use these as little pockets for all our bags, which helps out a little bit. There's my water bottle and my water, which I have on the road case for the moving heads. The foam sticks. The cords are just about done. There is my anti-fatigue mat. The Allendale Defender very briefly. And here we have the lion's share of the setup. We'll start up here with the Samsung Odyssey Notebook laptop running Virtual DJ Pro. We have my SanDisk 2 terabyte hard drive for the music, the Logitech mouse, the Pioneer DDJ SX2 controller, my Audio-Technica MX50 headphones, the mic stand. Up there we have, some gaff tape, the ADJ Airstream DMX bridge. Hello, the person who got that for me. We have my iPad right there. And we have my mic rack. I brought this, again, because we have 5 speeches, so I wanted to be able to go between 2 mics very easily, so I have that ready to go. There we have the remotes for those light-up speaker stands. I wish I could DMX them, but you just can't. My Radio 2-to-1 mixer, and we have my decibel meter to make sure we ain't too loud. And here we have the Power Bar 65. To get some extra power supply there. Now everything's looking all hunky-dory. Remember those speakers? We have the QSEK 10.2s, the new ones. Dents! They're dented. They came out of the box dented. And this one actually had the wrong power supply, so this was definitely used stock. I'm going to be returning this, you better believe it. So once we get that all lit up, well, there's only one thing left to do, and you know what time it is. It's time to level up. Tiny mirror, but let's go.
First up, make some noise for Lexi Zimmer and Isabel Porterfield. Keep it going for Ziola Jensen and Myra Quaja. right. Next up, we have Steph Steele and Ella Purington. And keep things going from Marin Merge and Mia D'Antonio. And next up we have Alana Bell and Meg Davis. A little bit more, Nora Moorfield and Savannah Morehouse. And keep it going for Rosie Benford and Leia Ewald-Weiss. Next up we have 3, Chelsea Schott, Maggie D'Angelo, and Allison Sullivan. The VIPs, without them, so much is not possible. We have our maids of honor and matron of honor, Mackenzie Meixner, Claire Porterfield, and Alex David. Our parents are in the building. Our bridal party is in the building. Our VIPs are in the building. We are only missing 2 people, are we not? And give it up for Mrs. and Mrs. Lee and Micha Porterfield. For God's sakes, kiss already.
Shuffling.
hear one more final huge round of applause for our newlyweds, Mrs. and Mrs. Lee and Michael Porterfield. Give it up for one last time.
And we're back. The afternoon after. I would have filmed this earlier, but I actually stayed in Rochester. Oh boy, this wedding. All right, everything that we did was great. Music selections were on point, a lot of last minute changes, but man, there was miscommunication was the word of this wedding. They had the seating chart directly next to the door where everybody was funneling in from. 200 people, one tiny little door, and then everyone's just kind of gathering, trying to find their seats, and there's 25 tables. It got way too cluttered over there. It was right next to the bar also, so people were trying to get drinks. It was way too long to get people inside that room in the first place. Having a really large wedding party, 22 people, 26 if you count the parents, that I was a little concerned with going in, but it ended up not being a problem. Everybody was moving at a pretty decent clip, so that really helps. But the order of events was a little strange. What Lee and Micha decided to do is once they had their grand entrance, rather than going directly into their first dance, which is how I like to run things if they give me the choice to, you know, kind of lead them in a direction, they were very insistent to go into toasts directly after their grand entrance because there were 5 of them. Both of the dads and all 3 of the maids / matron of honor wanted to give a speech. And right around the time toast number 2 began, people learned, oh, the venue forgot to put champagne out. And I talked to the maitre d' and everything, and I gave him the itinerary, and I was like, look, as soon as they come in, we are moving directly into toasts. And he's like, oh yeah, we got this, no problem. And problem, 200 people is way too long for that buffet line that they had, and they were taking way too long to call tables. By the time the father-daughter dances started, tables had still not been called to eat. Some of them hadn't, like 3 tables were left, 2 tables were left. I didn't even get a chance to eat during this wedding. Not only that, they were supposed to have 2 bars at this wedding. The one that I mentioned before, right next to where they came in for their grand entrance, and on the opposite corner of the room. But they never set up that second bar, so during the reception, they had to have somebody wheel in a keg or one of those rickety black carts, set it up, beer and wine only at that second one. But the coup de grace, the one thing that was crazy, and I do not know how this happened, they lost the cake. It came time right after the father-daughter dances for Lee and Micha to cut their cake, and I see the maitre d', Anthony, just be like, really adamantly. I was like, because I didn't know where the cake was. But he pointed right there. I was like, okay, let's bring them over there and let's cut the cake. And it wasn't there. They did not know where the cake was. And from what I understood, this is one of those venues that isn't quite Wedding Factory style, but they can do 2 weddings at a time. There was our wedding in the Bourbon Street room, and that other, the teal firehouse looking thing that you saw in the pre-existing footage, that is another wedding hall. So I guess somebody went to the other wedding, stole a tier of their cake, brought it over, and had them cut that. I've never heard of that before. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to the staff at Artisan Works. They were all really nice. They seemed particularly short-staffed that day, so I don't know what was going on. I know Anthony was not the person in charge of that event, and he was just kind of thrust into the position last minute, so good ups on you for trying to make the best of it. But when it came time for us to dance, you know, it's almost 9 o'clock. Some people haven't even eaten yet, and I'm just like, let's go. So we just start opening the dance floor, and immediately, it was such a party, I actually counted. As soon as I hit the first song playing, which was Pitbull, 23 seconds in, boom, first glass dropped on the floor. The dollar dance. So they told me they wanted a dollar dance, which was perfectly fine, but then like 2 minutes before we were about to do it, I learned that it was a traditional Pittsburgh Polish style dollar dance, which I had never done before. Then one of the mothers let me know that it was supposed to be done to polka music. And I am 33 years old. My polka is extremely limited. I looked up how many polka songs I had in my library, and I have 2. Granted, I could have played any of the Weird Al polkas. I have all of them. I'm a big Weird Al fan, but I wasn't about to throw that in all willy-nilly on a dollar dance. Fortunately, I only needed to repeat Beer Barrel polka 1 other time, and the other one other time, the Lichtensteiner polka. So it was 5 songs total. I did throw the Tarantella in there also because I knew Micha's side was Italian, and they seemed pretty happy with it. They knew that it was a last second thing because Lee and Micha did not tell me that it was that style of dollar dance, but we made it work.
If you wanted to learn how many polkas the DJ had, it's 2.
and overall, everybody was extremely happy with what we did. They would have danced until 2 or 3 in the morning if they had the chance, but there was a hard cutoff at 11 p.m. I hope you enjoyed this one. A playlist will be at the tail end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, but I'm Torgo with Torgo Entertainment, and we will see you at the next gig. Take care.
All right, coming up right now, Penn State. Where are you at? What? Ohio State? I thought you said Penn. I don't care. Just enjoy the song.
You know you make me wanna